Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Midday News on Global Television. We're coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Queen Agaba. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Nigecomsat. President Bola Tinubu has hosted Edo State Governor-elect Senator Monday Okpebholo at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. Okpebholo was accompanied by the chairman of the ruling All Progressives Congress, Abdullahi Ganduje, and some of the governors elected on the platform of the party. Among the governors on the entourage were the chairman of Progressive Governors Forum and Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma, Senator representing Edo North Senatorial District Adams Oshiomhole, and the Deputy Governor of Edo State Philip Shaibu, among others. Amidst the ongoing hardship and hunger affecting many Nigerians, the federal government has opted for a low-key celebration to commemorate the Nigeria's 64th independence. The government explained that this subdued approach would allow Nigerians to reflect on the country's current challenges during an inter-ministerial press conference in Abuja. Global Television brings you detail.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, urged Nigerians to reflect on the nation's achievements as more measures are being put in place to address hardship.
Let me assure you that this administration shall remain committed to its promise of working sacrificially to deliver the dividends of democracy to every Nigerian citizen.
Speaking on the efforts of the federal government in addressing economic hardship in the country, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, noted that the federal government has made significant strides in assisting the vulnerable, including providing student and business loans, as well as introducing CNG buses to alleviate transport costs. Other ministers also highlighted key achievements in their various ministries, particularly in fuel supply, food security, and transportation.
We have engaged with the private sectors in over 63 routes. And the idea is for them to bring in funds, construct this route, work with the Infrastructure and Concession Commission and the Ministry of Works to tow this route. We have started with the Kefi-Makurdi route that is completed.
As the nation marks its 64th independence anniversary, the focus remains on unity, resilience, and hope for a better future. For Global Television, Queen Agaba reporting.
The Nigerian government has secured a $600,000 relief fund and commitments from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. The donation was announced when Vice President Kashim Shettima met the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, led by its head of Global Development Program, Dr. Christopher Elias, on the sidelines of the 1790 United Nations General Assembly in New York. Senior Special Assistant to the Vice President on Media and Communications, Stanley Nkwocha, revealed in a statement that the relief fund is to hasten relief efforts for victims of the devastating floods, as well as health and agricultural sectors reforms. 7 months after it began negotiations that ended with 70,000 naira as new minimum wage, the federal government began payment of the new salary and its consequential adjustments to public servants across all levels of the federal civil service. This means over 1.2 million civil servants on the payroll of the federal government will be paid the newly approved minimum wage in September. Edo State Civil Society Organizations has urged the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, to consider lifting the ban on Edo State Security Network following conclusions of the state governorship election that held last Saturday. The group made the call in Benin City, the state capital, at its post-Edo 2024 governorship election press conference. Prior to the September 21st governorship election, Egbetokun had announced a ban on the activities of the security outfit. The group, through its coordinator general, Omobode Ago, said the presence of the security outfit had helped reduce crime since its creation in the state. A cattle ranch owned by a former Ogun State House of Representative member, Adesegun Adekoya, located in Akko village, Ago Iwoye, was reportedly attacked by unidentified individuals suspected to be armed robbers. Ogun State Police Command spokesperson Omolola Odutola confirmed the incident, noting that the suspects injured at least 2 farmers, including a man in his 70s, all of whom sustained various machete wounds after the attack. On a sad note still, wife of Akwa Ibom State Governor Patience Umar Eno is dead. The State Commissioner for Information, Ini Ememobong, announced the First Lady's death in a press statement issued in Uyo, the state's capital. He noted that the First Lady died at a hospital surrounded by family members. The United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, is targeted no fewer than 1,136,952 children for vaccination against measles during the forthcoming human papillomavirus and non-polio supplemental immunization holding in Ogun State in October 2024. The exercise is scheduled to principally capture children between 9 and 59 months as part of the fund's commitment to protecting children from life-threatening diseases. You're watching Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. When Midday News returns, Nigeria to slash food imports, boost agricultural self-sufficiency. Details of this and more after this break. Please stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. If you've just joined us, this is Global Television bringing you live broadcast of the Midday News. In business, data released by the Major Energies Marketers Association of Nigeria shows that the landing cost of premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, has dropped to 981 naira per litre. The petrol landing cost, which had been around 1,130 naira in previous weeks, came down by over 140 naira as of September 25th, 2024, occasioned the recent drop in global crude oil prices. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has urged the federal government to direct the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited and the Dangote Petroleum Refinery to allow independent marketers to commence the lifting of fuel from the newly established refinery. The resolution was reached following the adoption of a motion of urgent public importance sponsored by the member representing Yenogua Opokuma Federal Constituency, Bayelsa State, Oboku Ofoji. Nigeria is set to reduce its dependence on food imports, according to the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edu, who outlined a bold strategy to boost domestic agricultural production and increase food security. Edu, who spoke at a press conference in Abuja to mark the country's 64th Independence Day, declared that the era of heavy food importation must end, positioning this shift as a cornerstone of the government's economic recovery plan. The Economic Community of West African States Commission has announced plans to invest $380 million in electrifying public schools and health centers across 18 countries, including Nigeria, Benin, Chad, and other nations in West Africa and the Sahel region. The project aims to address the chronic lack of electricity access, which affects over 208 million people in the region, particularly in rural communities. The National Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, NETI, has delivered a public presentation of its 2022 and 2023 oil and gas industry reports. The Executive Secretary of the agency, Oji Ogbonnaya Oji, says the report provides a comprehensive data and information on revenue governance structures, operating and compliance within the oil and gas sector for 2022 and 2023 periods. Sharon Ajay has details.
The NAITI report is a significant milestone that would help foster transparency, accountability, and good governance in Nigeria's extractive sector. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, stated that the report will contribute to strengthen public trust and boost economic growth, as well as enhance critical government reforms.
We consider the aid not only as a global standard for promoting transparency in the management of revenues and natural resources, but also as a tool to strengthen public trust, accountability, and economic growth.
While speaking on the key content of the report, the Executive Secretary, NAITI, Orji Ogbonnaya Orji, says the report contains the identification of revenue leakage, the need to improve compliance with regulatory frameworks, and various key findings and recommendations.
The report contains several key findings and recommendations. Many of them lie on recommendations on revenue leakages and what needs to be done, the need for improved compliance with regulatory frameworks, and suggestions for increasing transparency in the operations.
The Chairman House Committee of Petroleum Downstream, Ikenga Ugo Chinyere, applauds this year's attendance of key stakeholders and the increased determination in ensuring the NAITI report is implemented.
This year presentation is interesting to me because key stakeholders who are relevant in the implementation were here today, especially the EFCC, which is helping NAITI in recovery, which I'm fully aware. Just like he said, ₦1 billion was also signed off yesterday as part of remittance. To be increased determination to ensure that the reports that comes out from NAITI presentation is implemented.
Stakeholders were urged to use the information contained as a tool for civil engagement, construction dialogue, and meaningful debate. Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
Vice President Kashim Shettima has welcomed ExxonMobil's proposed $10 billion investment in Nigeria's deep water oil operations. He described it as a clear testament to the administration's economic reforms and investment-friendly policies. The Vice President stated this during a high-level meeting with ExxonMobil executives on the sidelines of the ongoing 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York, United States. On the foreign scene, Israel rejected a push by allies for a 21-day ceasefire in Lebanon and vowed to keep fighting Hezbollah militants until victory ahead of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's address to the UN Assembly. Israeli bombing of Iran-backed Hezbollah strongholds around Lebanon has killed hundreds of people this week, while militant group has retaliated with rocket barrages. Japan government is urging its citizens to leave Lebanon and has decided to prepare for their possible evacuation. Israeli bombing has killed hundreds of people this week in Lebanon, particularly in Hezbollah strongholds, while the militant group has retaliated with rocket barrages. Donald Trump has agreed to a last-minute meeting with President Volodymyr Zelensky, despite repeatedly criticizing him on the U.S. campaign trail. The Republican presidential nominee told the news conference that the Ukrainian leader will visit Trump Tower just days after Trump criticized him for refusing to make a deal with Moscow. The former U.S. president appears to have changed his mind after early reports from his campaign said a meeting between the two was extremely unlikely. Officials say a man was put to death by lethal injection in the U.S. states of Oklahoma and Alabama carried out an execution with nitrogen gas, the second time such a method has been used in the United States. The two killings brings the total number of executions this year in the United States to 18, including 5 in the past week. In sports, Matchroom promoter Eddie Hearn is mapping out a potential showdown between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, despite the former's recent devastating loss to Boyce at Wembley Hen outlined 2 clear options for Joshua's move: a rematch with Doughboys or a long-awaited clash with Fury. While Hen expects Joshua to lean towards the Doughboys rematch, he believes facing Fury could be the bigger option for the British-Nigerian boxer. Chelsea's pursuit of Super Eagles striker Victor Boniface has hit a snag as the player expresses a preference for German and Spanish football. The West London Giants are being tipped to make a big money attacking acquisition in 2025, with Boniface emerging as a leading target. Boniface, 23, played a key role in Bayer Leverkusen's Bundesliga and DFB Pokal win last season, netting 21 goals and providing 10 assists in 34 games across all competitions, despite missing some matches due to injury. That's it on the Midday News, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on DSTV channel 365, Star Times channel 276, and free to air on Nigecomsat. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. I'm Queen Agaba. Thank you for watching, and see you again.